All right, we're here for another episode of our Hall Class podcast. And today we've got Laird Walker, and this is the day he was confirmed a member of the church. So we're stoked to have Laird here with us. And actually, Ethan Pratt is going to be doing the interview today. So this is the first time for Ethan doing an interview. Is this your first podcast ever, Laird?
I'm sure it is. Unless somebody was secretly recording me or something, but
that could be
first willing podcast.
Got it. Could be the case. All right, so I'm going to turn the time over to Ethan, and maybe I'll chime in with a question along the way.
Yeah. So, Laird. Yeah, I've known Laird for a minute. We've been friends since like 6th grade, so it's good to get him in here, get him in the church.
We were friends since 6th grade when we had flag football practice, and we had a turf field, and I didn't have the right shoes on. And if you wear your sneakers for a long time, they just get smooth on the bottom. And it was, I don't know if it was a little bit wet on the turf or whatever it was, but we were doing a little drill, 2 cones, one person got the ball, you had to try to juke the other person. And I was on defense, and he hit a little and then my shoe just went, and I was the laughing stock of the team.
Tripped them up.
It was so bad.
It's a blast from the past. Okay. All right, first couple questions. Where were you born? And where did you grow up? Just from here, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've been around here the entire time. I was I don't know. I've always wanted to leave San Diego, but I kind of never have. I don't know. I think my mom, she grew up in Sacramento, and then she came down here with my dad, lived in Claremont, and then they bought the house over in San Marcos, and I just moved out of that like 2 years ago, Oceanside, and now Rancho. So.
Got it. Why do you want to leave San Diego?
I've just been here too long. Nothing's different, you know what I mean?
You gotta switch it up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if your dad is still a Navy SEAL, but...
Well, no.
No, he's not? Well, I mean, I know he's not because he's doing that, but, when he was, were you, moving around a lot, or...?
Well, he retired in 2008, so I was 1.
Oh, so, okay.
I don't really...
Yeah, I got you.
Wait. You guys just glossed over something. So wait, first, tell us about your family.
Okay, so...
And then you got Navy SEAL for a dad?
So I'll start on my mom's side. It's, originally, my parents separated when I was probably, 5 or something. But it was, my mom, my dad, my brother, and me. My brother's 4 years older, so he's, turning 21 very soon, which is a little scary. But my mom, she, worked in real estate, and then 2008, the big, crash, and she was like, okay, I'm just going to get away from that. And then, she found her calling, which was in nursing. So, now she's a nurse, travels around doing that. My dad he grew up in Georgia, born in Alabama, raised in Georgia, big southern boy. And, he was not a good guy, as he likes to say. He was just like, I would, if you were hanging out with, me, I would tell you to stop hanging out with me. But he didn't really know what to do with his life when he got kicked out at 17. He was like, what do I? And he enlisted in the Navy. And I guess, they always show you those recruiting videos they always show you the coolest things they're doing, and not the, hours of paperwork and freezing cold and all that. He was like, I want to do that. He always brings up this story where he saw this little video where they're, probably a mile off the coast of some island, and they're on this little rock, and they're all freezing, and they're just, they have a little sketch pad with their binoculars, and they're drawing out some recon on this thing. He remembers that very vividly, and he goes, I wanted to do that. I always grew up, and I wanted, to be a big, I wanted people to care about what I did. I wanted to matter. So, when the Navy did his 2 years on a boat, and then became a Navy SEAL, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
He was the leader of the first, squad to be platooned in Afghanistan after 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Sounds like we need to do another podcast with him sometime. I want to hear some stories.
He doesn't talk about it that much, but
I'm sure he won't.
That's it's not that he won't, I don't know. That's the thing that I always say is if you to know if you're actually talking to a Navy SEAL, he won't tell you, as opposed to, if you're a Marine, they're gonna tell you. They probably got a sticker on their car and tell you everything.
That's funny. Go ahead, Ethan.
Yeah, and then I want to know, because I have been curious about this for a long time, so just a little bit more about your dad. How did your dad go from Navy SEAL to dog breeder?
Oh, yeah, so I should probably... So right now, my mom still does nursing, but now we breed, like show-quality golden retrievers now. So, after he retired, he was just like, I don't really know what to do, and met my now stepmom. And she had already, been in the business for like 5 years or something. And, he just kind of picked up there, and I don't know. Now he went back to school, got a few degrees. Now he's working for a big construction consulting job. I don't know, but hey,
there you go.
Whatever makes him happy.
Solid. Okay, what was your childhood like?
Ooh, like young childhood or like
whatever you
give me like an age range.
From, let's say, 8 to let's do like 6 to 12.
Okay, so when I was 6, that was the year after my parents separated, and my dad, I always remember this was the cool... Okay, so I was walking back home. I don't know why I just got reminded of this. And it was my brother's birthday, and he really liked Angry Birds. The little... that. And my dad took some 2x4s while we were at the neighbor's house and made a little slingshot. And we were walking in the street, and I guess he was like, using his Navy SEAL powers to... calculate the trajectory, and he just absolutely hammered me in the face with a big stuffed Angry Bird. But, I don't know, it was just a lot of that. My dad messing around with us, hot tub at night. My mom would be making cookies and stuff, and then my dad, when they separated, he went to an apartment, and I thought, now, looking back, I'm like, living in an apartment as a little kid, like, trying to be raised, probably not the greatest, except at the time I loved it. Public pool, tennis whenever I wanted, come on. I don't know, I was really bad at tennis, but I tried my best. And then 12, I don't know. I guess I was at a school over kind of near San Marcos for elementary school until like 2nd grade. And then I transferred to the school where I met Ethan, Roger Rowe, over in Rancho. I hated that school so much. Oh my gosh, there's so many stories about that.
Oh gosh, yeah. We could go deep into that.
Yeah, it was bad. But, left there, LCC. I'm here.
Okay, I'm gonna throw some.
What grade are you right now?
I'm a sophomore now.
Sophomore?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw some random questions at you. Just give me
Speed
answers off the top of your head, okay?
First thing I think of.
Favorite game?
Angry Birds.
Favorite cartoon?
Oh, favorite cartoon? Probably like...
TV show, anything, Cartoon Network?
No, Teen Titans, the OG one.
Teen Titans Go or Teen Titans?
No, Teen Titans.
Okay.
Teen Titans Go was weird.
Favorite movie?
Interstellar popped into my head, but that's probably not my favorite movie.
That is a great movie, though.
Wait, which one said it again?
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, Interstellar.
Interstellar, but like if I'm actually thinking about it and I want to give you an answer, I'd probably say like Good Will Hunting.
I've actually never seen Good Will Hunting.
We should
Everyone
watch it.
tells me how good. My parents, every time I say that I've never seen it, they freak out.
Well, if you're watching it with your friends and everyone's trying to make jokes and be funny and ha ha ha,
yeah,
it's not very good.
It's
to
like
watch.
a serious.
But
movie.
if you're like a little bit sad at 10 p.m. and you're like, I want to watch a movie, just start there.
Okay, favorite breakfast food?
Hash browns.
Okay,
without ketchup. Ketchup's nasty.
Okay, favorite dinner food?
Just a nice big steak. I feel like you can.
Love it.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. We already kind of talked about your family. Talked a little bit about school. What sports did you play in school? Sports?
Well, I grew up playing baseball. I mean, as all kids do, I think. You grow up playing pee-wee soccer and t-ball and basketball, and I was so in my brain. I was so good at basketball. Me and our friend, you probably know Judge Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were locking down on defense, and we won a little 5th grade championship. But then, stopped playing. That was not a big part of my life, so I stopped playing basketball. I was, like, really good at soccer. I was on, top 3 team in the state, all that. And then when I was probably 11, 12, and then the coach of the team was leaving, and he was like, okay, the new coach that's coming, like, he's been in a few practices, and he absolutely hates your personality.
Oh.
And I was like...
Like, specifically to you?
Yeah. The coach just did not like my personality.
Wow, that's...
And he was like, my coach that, I played with for so many years and I loved so much, he was like, I'm going to be so serious. Like, if you stay on this team, you're probably not going to play at all because he hates you. And then, I was like, okay, well, I'll just, leave, take a little break for maybe a month, and I'll find another team. And I just kind of never found
Just drifted away.
Wow. Yeah. Baseball, played until COVID. COVID hit, stopped. I dabbled a little bit a few months ago, but not my thing. Now I play rugby. So he kind of plays rugby.
Big rug.
He likes to tell people he plays rugby.
I don't. I literally.
Actually.
No.
He played freshman year.
We won't go into that.
He got mad because he didn't get playing time.
That is not true at all.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What's your favorite restaurant?
Okay, you just tell me to say the first thing.
There's one right answer.
Don't say that one.
Denny's.
He knows
Much better.
He knows what I'm talking
That's
about.
better.
Denny's. Applebee's, maybe.
Okay. Let's
Oh, no. Run that back. Soup Plantation.
Ooh.
Excuse me? You've never been to Soup Plantation?
I've never heard of it.
It's a West Coast thing. You're probably back east when it was going on. But
Well,
it closed after COVID.
If you actually
then
if you actually went, I think they have a few open now. No? I saw one. Maybe they're just taking this.
I would love to find it. That'd be great.
What is it called?
Soup Plantation.
Yeah. If you went back and actually looked at all of it, you'd be like, this is the most nasty place known to man. But in the moment,
It was beautiful.
It was a beautiful experience.
Not a big soup guy. I don't know.
No, they have literally name any food you could ever want, and they probably have it somewhere.
Wow.
It's like a big warehouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the insight from a teenage mind of what Soup Plantation was like. This is really good to hear. What else you got?
I want to know now. That sounds fun.
You just had to be there.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. What is some advice you would give your younger self?
I tell myself that it's okay to care, because I know a lot of people, they have an issue with they care too much, and they're trying to step back from their social problems and stop worrying about everything so much. But me, I think I had that a little bit, and then I got so I tried to convince myself hey, you don't care, you're so nonchalant, who cares? Don't even worry about it. But that got me into a lot of situations where if I just put in that tiny little bit of effort, maybe I'd have a friendship that I don't have now, or I'd have an experience that I don't have. So just be more present, experience things, and put a little bit more effort in. But I figured it out now, so.
That is very wise advice. Regardless of your age. It's very wise advice.
All right. Let's hear about your school situation right now.
Oh, my school situation is funny. So, went to La Costa Canyon freshman year. For most of this year, I went to La Costa Canyon. And then, my grades weren't great, but they weren't horrible, and it was just and then I kind of found myself in a position where I, woke up one morning, and you ever have those moments where you're just I'm going to change, I'm going to do better. You're so motivated to do better.
3 a.m. motivation?
Yeah, but it actually lasted.
Okay, all right.
I'm not talking about the 3 a.m. motivation where you're laying in bed and you're and you just start doing push-ups at 3 a.m., you know what I mean? Yeah, no, it was actually, and then I, started doing so much better, but I had kind of put myself on a, bad trajectory from the beginning of the year. So I was let me fix this. So I, left LCC to go finish my school, and I, finishing it Monday, while these guys got 20-something more days left.
Through Sunset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Sunset's got some great programs.
Well, I don't really like the people there, because my thought process is I'm there because, I chose to go there because it's the way, they'll just give you assignments at whatever pace you want to do them, and you can finish them as fast as you want. But my philosophy with that, to make myself feel not as bad, is, I chose to be there for my own well-being. A lot of those kids have to be there. So
That's true.
I
Good for you.
just try to not associate, because, the stereotypes, a bunch of them are druggies, and I'll just get my work done and leave.
Good for you.
What do you prefer, LCC or Sunset? Which
Well,
situation? Not take the grades out of it in the situation. What did you enjoy more?
Well, obviously LCC, all my friends are there, and
Okay. Yeah.
but, I have an extra few weeks of summer, so eat it.
Okay, I know that you just got baptized, so I don't know if this is there yet, but do you have a favorite scripture?
Oh. Some intruders getting in the way.
Or a scripture story.
Yeah. That's a better way to put it.
Well, if I went super basic, I just have so much memory of David and Goliath, and I putting up the actual just story of it aside, and how much that impacted me is growing up, going to my little Catholic school, and we'd go get our lessons for however long it was a day, an hour and a half, watching Veggie Tales stories, and it was always the cucumber, and he was David. But I don't know. I think it was so helpful for me to, even if I was kind of there because my parents sent me and I didn't really know what was happening, just kind of growing up around that and, having that in my head and having it be such a normal thing. Because I don't think I'd be here, today sitting in this awkwardly small room if I didn't, have that growing up. So.
No, it's true. Foundations of faith is what I'd probably call that.
Yeah, exactly.
It layers and builds on itself. So it starts with David and Goliath and Veggie Tales to however your faith is now about, I know who Jesus Christ is and why he's important.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you wanted me to get a little bit more serious, you read I read the full Bible all the way through before I even looked at a Book of Mormon, because I just grew up with that, and I always think back to Judas and the story of him betraying Jesus, and I guess it fills me with guilt, but in a good way, something that's gonna motivate me to change, not just feel bad about myself, because you read how he betrayed Jesus just for a little bit of silver, and I've betrayed Jesus for much less, and I've done maybe not as bad things as giving him up to people who were going to kill him, but I've betrayed him for 2 seconds of happiness or fake joy or something that wouldn't actually be helpful in my life. So I just always try to look back at that to kind of keep me in my place and help me realize where I am and how I need to act.
That's great.
Yeah, that was good. What do you got any plans for the summer? Anything you're gonna do with the extra 2 weeks?
Oh, hey, I'm gonna take the jet ski out. My mom might get a boat soon. You're not coming. I'm kidding.
I'm coming.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I now having my license, having my car, I have more freedom to actually enjoy my summer. So, Mom, can I go hang out with somebody today? Can I get a ride? I hate that so much. Mm-hmm. But if my car keeps having the issues it's having, I didn't tell you any of that.
What about the? Oh yeah, I haven't heard about.
Okay, so this is just just waffling here. So a few days ago, I'm pulling out to go to the Ralph's because I needed gum in my car.
Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah, you saw my car.
Yeah, I saw it.
And it's it's not marked as a 2-lane road. It's a 1-lane road. The one I was turning into. I was going left. But it's a 1-lane road. So legally, it should be one. Except this dude on the left, I couldn't see because there was a line of parked cars, and he let's keep in mind I've had my license for 10 days. So he's, stopping here, he's waving me out. I can see on the right, I'm good, nobody's oncoming that way. And I can't see on the left. But hey, 1-lane road, the guy in the thing is waving me out. I'm like, okay, great, let me pull out. Just boom! Lady passed him on the right. And I was like, dude. And then, luckily, I drove back to my house, and my dad and I, it was only the front, bumper, the little one piece. So it's not actually that bad, Could have been much worse. No one was hurt. And then I was like, all right, great, if you're looking for it, you can tell my car's messed up. But, we fixed it pretty well. And then I was like, I'm so glad it's over with. It's a good lesson to learn. Had my first car troubles. I was actually talking to Britlin about that while she was in the passenger seat and I'm driving. And, we're pulling out of Target. And it was like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, dude, what? And I park and get out of my car, and I go over there, and my front right tire is half a foot off the bead of the wheel. I was like, are you kidding me? So I had to, switch to the spare, which had 8 PSI in it. It was not a good situation. But it all worked out.
When it happens, it happens.
Yeah. I don't know if it's from because it was really a minor, collision. I was going probably 5 miles an hour. So she was going
crazy.
25.
All right. What is a day in your life like? Just a little rundown.
Well, this week or in general? Because this week's been a little bit different.
Oh, just with baptism, missionary lessons, all that stuff.
Britlin coming back.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Because I've, this entire week I've kind of been at her house for 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But no, normally, if I don't have to wake up early, I'll try to sleep in as much as I can, because, my dad's always, you're so lucky you get to sleep in. I have to wake up at 6 a.m. every day. You know what? You're right, I'll embrace that and sleep in every single day. No, but, I don't know, so I'll sleep in, probably get up at like 9. And then whatever chores I have for that day, or if I want to go do something, I don't know. So much is changing right now in my life that I have to, I have no clue, like next week I have no clue what my life is going to look like. So I'm just trying to take it day by day and figure it out as I go.
All right. My last question. Do you want to say a little bit about your conversion story?
Yeah, honestly,
pretty fresh. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really know how I got here. So much, like, I don't know, like, the actual, like, what, if someone said something that made me think something, that how I ended up here. I guess it's God's will, but I was meant to be here. But, like I was telling you, I grew up Catholic, and then, when my mom started working a lot, parents separated, we kind of stopped going to church. And then, probably maybe 8 months ago, I was talking to this girl, and she was like, "You should come to church with me." And I was like, "You know what? Church isn't that foreign to me. My godmother, runs a church, so I used to spend all my weekends there. I'm like, why not?" And then I started going to youth with a bunch of the kids that went there, and I started going to church with them, and then I spent probably 2 months as just a non-denomination, Christian, and then I've been friends with this guy and a bunch of the other, the Mormon kids, as people would say. The Mormons.
We're known at LCC.
Yeah. There's a large group. I've been friends with them for a while, and, I kind of picked that up from being around them, and, because people are always walking up to you, the classic questions. "You can't drink coffee, right?" Like, "You can't hang out on Sunday?" So I kind of just, always understood the, like, this group, they believe what they believe, and all these other people are kind of, coming at them, I guess. But then, last year, freshman year, I just hanging out with a bunch of, the Mormon kids. I was like, you know what? I think I like learning. I like, getting new information. I'll just read the Book of Mormon, not as, a piece of my faith, but just as an informational textbook to, kind of understand some of the things, my friends believe and where they come from and how they grew up. So I did that, and there were a lot of things I can't put my finger on now. I can only think of a few specific things where I would be like, coming from my own faith, I'll read something and I'll go, oh, that makes more sense than like what I was believing here. And then I think I was talking to Ethan's dad, and he started talking about baptism for the dead. I was like, oh, I actually really like that, and I kind of started leaning like, oh wait, maybe this isn't. I never thought it was a bad thing, but I never thought of it as an option. You know what I mean? So I guess once I started agreeing with a few things, and then I also, I think it kind of lined up because I was having, we were just talking about how everybody in the church has doubts. It's not a, direct path upwards, but I guess it lined up perfectly where, I found a few things I agreed with in the Book of Mormon. At the exact same time, my doubts of the church that I was in at the time were going like, my doubts were increasing. So I was like, you know what? Just take a leap. I'll meet with a missionary. Why not? And then, I met with a missionary once, and I met with the missionaries twice or 3 times, and I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this is what I want to do. So, a few meetings later, little dunk under some water.
Yes, sir.
Here I am.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Let me ask one final question.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to be baptized?
In terms of, like, my life as a whole, or in terms of just why take that step in the church?
Yeah, the latter.
I mean, it's such an important thing first of all, in a lot of other, Christian churches, baptism isn't that big a thing, but in the Bible it does say, you need to be baptized to, have access to the kingdom of heaven. Jesus himself was baptized, and it's just such a, it opens so many doors and kind of points me in the right direction for the rest of my life, and, going to the temple and, dedicating my life to this and living my life in a way that Jesus would approve of.
That's really cool. Well, thank you very much. Actually, both of you. Thank you very much, Ethan, for doing the interview, and Laird for sharing so much about your life today. It's interesting to see, even in a relatively young life, how God has kind of led and prepared and opened opportunities for you.
Yeah.
It's really fun for sharing. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.